Rated M for mature.
Don't let your kids watch it!
Evening was turning to night. I had to get dinner ready. I had to eat so I'd have enough strength to take revenge. The place was far from town. It would even get isolated during winter because of the snow. It's not unusual for a household like this to have 2 or 3 refrigerators. There were plenty of groceries left in them. I was glad I didn't have to go grocery shopping. I could hear the chorus of the Higurashi. People often say that the sound of the Higurashi brings back memories. But for me, it's the exact opposite. I've only ever heard the sound of the Higurashi in Hinamizawa. Therefore, the sound of the Higurashi, to me, is Hinamizawa. The sound reminded me that I wasn't supposed to be here. That I couldn't be here. Oh wait, I caught a typo. It reminded me that I wasn't supposed to be here. They forgot it too in there! That's like the first typo I think I've seen. That was when I heard the doorbell. Because there was a good distance between the house and the gate, there was both a doorbell and an intercom by the ladder. It had a security camera too. Something as modern as a security camera monitor in this old-fashioned kitchen looked rather strange. I turned the switch, but nothing appeared on the monitor. I tried to check the plug, but there was a bunch of cords going out behind the refrigerator, so I couldn't even do that. The doorbell continued to ring while I tried to figure out if the monitor was broken or if I just didn't know how to turn it on. I only felt like answering the door depending on who it was. It'd normally be easier to pretend to be out, but that wouldn't help me. I was waiting for my enemies to show up. I couldn't just hide myself in that case. The hag was supposed to be sick and in an extremely bad mood. I'd already sent word out that she didn't want to see anyone. So who could it be? I made up my mind and turned the intercom on. If it was someone unwanted, I would just turn whoever it was away. But I had to act normally so I wouldn't arouse suspicion. Yeah, you're great at that. I had to act normally.
はい。どちら様でしょう？
こんにちはなのです。
Oh no! This is where it's gonna start. She didn't tell me her name, but I recognized her voice.
リカちゃんか。どうしたの？こんな時間に。
I brought backup to get revenge.
実はお醤油を分けてもらいに来たのですよ。
Soy sauce? I almost screamed, but I controlled myself. I took a moment to think about the situation. Hinamizawa was far from most stores, so sometimes neighbors would share seasoning and stuff with each other. The village sometimes got snowed in during winter, but the Furde Shrine was quite far from this house. It was rather odd for her to come all the way here on her bicycle just to get some soy sauce. Maybe she was using it as an excuse. Maybe there was something she wanted to talk to me about. That was when I noticed a piece of paper that was on the refrigerator door next to the intercom. We still have plenty of homemade soy sauce in stock. Feel free to come to the Sonozaki's house if you want some. The hag must have given that flyer to everyone. One of our relatives sent to her a barrel of soy sauce. If you want some, bring a container. That's what the flyer said. I see. This would explain it. There was a handwritten note on the bottom of the flyer. The soy sauce is in the storage area under the floor. Give them as much as they want. There was a storage area beneath the floor. When I opened it, I saw a barrel of soy sauce, alongside a funnel and a ladle. I didn't want Rika to notice anything suspicious at this point. I decided to share the soy sauce with her.
いいよ。入れるものは持ってきてるの？
お醤油の瓶を持ってきましたのです。
オッケー。勝手に入ってきていいよ。
Okay.
玄関で待ってる。
As I headed there, I heard the doorbell ring again.
みー、内側から閉まってて門が入れないのですよ。
ああ、そうだった。ごめん。今開けに行くよ。待ってて。
Rika, are you just gonna ignore the fact that Shion, slapped you a bit earlier? People didn't pay much attention to safety around here in Hinamizawa. People didn't think too much about locking the doors. But as someone who's lived in a town, I always locked everything. To let Rika Furude in, I'd have to go outside.
こんばんはなのですよ。
Hey, Rika. This is so weird, because I feel like Rika looks totally different in this dress compared to her school outfit in the console art style.
こんばんは。
Rika smiled at me. She was holding a huge soy sauce bottle. She acted like I never yelled at her, got violent with her, or made her cry at all today. Or perhaps she came to curry favor, thinking she angered me. I invited Rika to the front door and told her to wait for a moment, and tried to take the bottle. But Rika took her shoes off and walked into the house with the bottle in her hands.
いいよ。私が入れてくるから待ってなよ。
僕も上後でお醤油入れるのは上手になったのですよ。
She looked at me as if begging. I guess she wanted to pour the soy sauce into the bottle herself. I didn't want her to come into the house, but I suppose I didn't want her to wait there alone either. If she came to the kitchen with me, I could keep my eyes on her. And so I brought Rika to the kitchen. We walked down the hallway. I only heard my footsteps. I stopped suddenly and turned around to make sure Rika was following me. Rika bumped into me.
ああ、ごめんごめん。
Rika, let me check your pockets. Yeah, that's right, she might have the syringe, right? I made sure she was right behind me and started to walk again. Tap, tap, tap. Tip, tip, tip. Tap, tap. Tip, tip. Rika must have been having fun matching her footsteps to mine. Even when I quickly sped up, our footsteps matched perfectly. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tip, tip. Tip, tip. Tap, tap, tap. I stopped suddenly. Tip, tip, tip. Tip. Rika stopped suddenly too after taking an extra step. When I turned around, Rika smiled at me. Her footsteps matched perfectly, and when I stopped suddenly, I heard her extra step. I've experienced such footsteps before. It was making me feel uncomfortable. But now, although her footsteps sounded the same as the other ones I'd experienced, I saw her when I turned around. That was the difference between them. I left the storage door open so that they could see the soy sauce barrel. The memo said she can take as much as she wants, but I wasn't sure there was enough left. I crouched down and tried to open the lid of the soy sauce barrel. Even when I crouched down, I could hear Rika's extra step.
うん、まだまだいっぱいあるよ。ほら、好きなだけ持ってくといい。
Ah, it hurts! Oh, Lord! Just a simple change in eyes, but wow, alright. She's like, I got you now. Oh, Lord! I forgot about her creepy smile! Yikes! That one is significantly less creepy. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Bro, this is legit terrifying. I forgot we actually had this sprite a little bit in chapter 4. Wow. I don't like it. I don't like it. When I turned around, Rika was very close to me. Who was this? I saw Rika, but it wasn't Rika at all. It was like when I switched my sister. The outside was the same, but the inside was different. Did Rika have a twin sister? I was confused for a moment. That was when Rika sprayed something from a small bottle into my eyes. Oh, go Rika! She knows. I felt the terrible pain in my eyes and suddenly tears poured out and my nose started to run. Does she have, like, mace? Or pepper spray? Oh, let's go, Rika! Yes! I couldn't stop sneezing either. As I stumbled around covering my face, I realized I was attacked. I shut my eyes tightly for a moment, then opened them again. Rika was about to grab my hair to drag me down onto the floor. Go, Rika! Go, Rika! When Rika saw me open my eyes, she sprayed at me again. I shut my eyes to avoid the spray, but my nose still breathed in the substance. I avoided the pain in my eyes, but the tears, the runny nose, and the sneezing continued. She got pepper spray! Shit! Ah! My brain isn't working quickly enough. However, when I finally understood that I had been attacked by Rika Furide, my brain started to grind into motion. Rika Furide knocked me on my back and got on top of me. Oh, she's strong! I tried to escape from her by rolling onto the kitchen floor. As I rolled, I hit an oven, a huge jar, and destroyed a pile of something on the floor as I fought back. Unfortunately, Rika's at a very much size and strength disadvantage here, but Rika didn't let go of me. She stayed on top and restrained me. Yeah, Rika does not have the lizard eyes, she just looks evil, which is interesting. She was sitting on my stomach and I felt intense pain and pressure. She sure could fight well! I still couldn't see anything. Rika had the upper hand, my eyes were shut and I was in real danger. As I tried to blink, I saw Rika's expression. I didn't know Rika Furide all that well. I only knew her from the few times we met when I went to school as Mion and from the things I've heard from other people. But as far as I knew, there was no way Rika Furide would ever do something like this. This is just impossible. Impossible. Impossible! No, I can't fill my head with that word. I have to calm down and figure out what to do next. Shit, I'm too much of a mess to even think! I tried to peek at her face again. She still had the spray bottle in one hand. What I didn't expect was the thing in her other hand. Is this the syringe? How could I mistake it for anything else? It was definitely a syringe. Oh! So are we gonna get the answer for this? When Rika realized I'd regained my eyesight, she pointed the spray bottle right at me and let loose with it. I shut my eyes tightly and tried to ignore the pain. But that was when, even though I was blinded, Rika made a miscalculation. She had sprayed at me from such a close distance that she inhaled the substance as well. I heard Rika sneeze, and I realized it was my chance. Even if I couldn't see, I knew she was right there. I hit Rika's face a few times. When I felt Rika's weight shift, I escaped. Uh-oh. Oh, shoot. She looks angry here. I then got my stun gun ready. Rika must have inhaled just a little bit of the spray. She wasn't sneezing anymore, and she was glaring at me instead. She does have lizard eyes. Rika's expression didn't change, but I was sure she was disappointed that her surprise attack was a failure. Rika flinched just a little, but she was still holding the spray bottle and aiming it at my eyes. She was trying to use the spray first, and then give me the shot. I didn't know what was in that syringe, but it was a clear liquid. It's just water. It had to be something bad. She wanted to take my eyesight, get on top of me, and then give me the shot. If whatever was in the syringe took a while to take effect, I might have had the chance to fight back and seriously injure Rika. But Rika's surprise attack told me that just being injected was more than enough. In other words, whatever the effect, it would start to work immediately. Therefore, I wouldn't be able to fight back against her. How did Rika get the syringe in the first place, though? It'd probably either knock me out or kill me. In any case, what I had was equally deadly. My stun gun was very powerful. Just one shot would be all it took. What happened before was proof of its power. Rika knew my stun gun was a lot more powerful than her spray. She was being extremely cautious. I threw a pile of newspapers at her. The pile wasn't tied together, so the newspapers flew all over Rika. I jumped at her immediately after. I shoved my stun gun into her and pulled the trigger. Rika spasmed and fell to the floor. No! No! You fool! Hesitating in a fight where a single blow wins? Only amateurs just glare at each other. You don't have a single clue about how advantageous the first strike is when a single blow can decide everything. The spray bottle rolled to the ground, but she still had the syringe. Rika was down, but I couldn't let my guard down either. I kicked her in the side and clambered on top of her. I took the syringe. I held Rika's arm down and then gave her the shot. Oh no! No! Oh, that's not good. My actions could hardly be called gentle. I injected her violently. I injected everything that was in the syringe. Oh no. Rika began to convulse. I stood back and watched for what would happen to her body. Of course, I still had my guard up. While I assumed that the drug would incapacitate her immediately, I didn't know exactly what kind of reaction she would have.
Ha! ざまあないね。私に勝てるとか夢にでも思った。なめんじゃねえや!
After a few more convulsions, Rika unsteadily got to her feet. That's ridiculous. How can she even stand? I looked at my stun gun. Damn it! The power was on the lower setting. Maybe it had been readjusted while we were rolling around on the floor. It changed the setting to the maximum. Rika turned pale and started sweating all over. I didn't know its exact effects, but if Rika had given me the shot, I'd be the one experiencing her symptoms. She looked really sick, so she obviously must have been feeling awful too. She couldn't even focus. She was very wobbly and had her hand on the wall. She'd lost her balance, and it must have been hard for her to even stand. She didn't look so brave anymore. Rika wobbled some more and moaned as if she was about to throw up. What is that? What the heck does that mean? Rika looked scary as she moaned and wobbled, but at the same time she looked kind of funny too. Certainly, she hadn't even dreamed she'd be getting the shot herself. As the man sows, so shall he reap. That's what's gonna happen to you, Shion. What the heck is in that shot? I don't know. Maybe Rika's playing a power play where she's like, it was steroids, I'm stronger now. That's what you get.
実に滑稽だね。笑えるよ。でも吐くときは勘弁ね。お手洗いで吐いてちょうだいよ。あんたがあとどのくらいでくたばるのか見物するのも楽しいよ。ああ、でもそれじゃあ拷問する楽しみがなくなるね。私さ、あんたにはあの釘台を使ってやろうとずっと心に決めてたんだよね。
She didn't even do anything.
あんたが自分の薬でゲロを吐きながらそれで窒息して死ぬのが早いか、両手十指に釘をたらふく食らって痛みで行くのが早いか、ぜひ見てみたいもの。
Ew! Rika, the only thing Rika did was, like, try to incapacitate you and attack you. But also, this is after you've murdered people and tortured them and you're completely insane. So, she's in the right here.
よし決めた。そうしようかね。じゃあ会場を移そうか。
Well,
楽しい
let's
楽
not.
しい地下細具殿にね。場所を移すためにちょいと眠っててもらうよ。
I walked up to Rika, my stun gun making popping sounds. When Rika saw the sparks from the stun gun, she moved to grab a huge kitchen knife.
おや、まだその程度の元気はあるわけだ。そうでなくちゃ面白くないよ。あんたにはいろいろ聞きたいことがあるしね。
Oh boy.
無駄に抵抗しない方がいろいろと辛くないよ。もっとも抵抗しなくても辛い目に遭うだろうけど。残念だけど、あんたの誘いは断るわ。この拷問狂が。
She's got the deep voice again. This is so weird. Why does she have the deep voice? What she said wasn't anything I'd expect to hear from the Rika I knew, but I didn't hesitate. I had the advantage, so I didn't need to worry. Besides, this was coming from the last survivor of the Furaday family, one of the 3 families. That sudden change somehow felt natural.
あんたらの御三家の血塗られた歴史に比べたら、私なんてとてもとても。それを古出家当主様に褒めてもらえるなんてね。ちょっと光栄だね。んで、そのフラフラな体で包丁一本で抵抗してみせる。
I mean, if Rika can get just a clean, like, shot, toss the knife right through your heart, she can still win.
立っているだけでも限界なくせに。
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen.
そうね。あんたの言う通り、これがどうも私の限界。お前なんかに召し取られて、拷問で殺されるくらいなら。
Oh no, I know what she's about to do.
悪いけど、お先に退場させてもらうわ。
Rika's gonna stab herself in the heart.
退場できるならしてごらんよ。
It was clear who held the advantage here. But despite that, an odd thrill filled both of us. We lost our minds wasn't a fitting phrase for the people of Hinamizawa. It was a feeling of release, when modern demons could stop pretending to be human. Yes, this was a mad banquet of demons with the savoring of blood and devouring of flesh. Attended by the head of the Furaday family and the head of the Sonozaki family, the old families whose blood is closest to the madness of demons. I stood in front of the hallway so as to block her escape route. The windows had grates, and the door had a safety chain on it. If she turned around, I'd hit her with my stun gun. In this situation, what did Rika Furaday mean by taking her leave? She means literally. Rika got her knife ready. I expected her to aim at my stomach when she attacked, so I took a stance with my stun gun ready in my hand. Rika, however, suddenly turned around. I carefully watched to see what her next move would be. Rika put the handle of the knife to the wall and held it in place. What's she doing?
じゃあね。さよなら拷問狂。お前なんかに殺されてたまるか。
Rika reared her head back and slammed her throat against the knife on the wall. Ew! Ah! Ah! Oh! I thought she was going for the heart stab. This is all. Ow! Shion was not ready for a power move like that, apparently. Her blood splattered all over. Good luck getting rid of this evidence. Rika bent backwards repeatedly and let the knife slash at her throat. Again and again. Again and again?! It didn't kill her in one hit?! Her neck and chest were dyed red. I'd always thought blood was darker. But her blood wasn't dark. It was so bright. I must have been confused, but it looked pretty. After doing this several times, Rika turned around. Her eyes were wide open. She didn't look like she was from this world. Her face looked like something both living and dead, both real and artificial. It was very scary, eerie, and above all else pale. Although her face looked unearthly, it was very appropriate face for a demon. I didn't have a mirror, so I couldn't tell, but I was sure I looked exactly like her. Rika continued to violently slash her throat. It reminded me of someone trying to break a huge piece of ice with an ice pick. How is she able to do this through the pain? This was exactly what Rika looked like. The white chips of ice coolly flying through the air. What I saw before me was a beautiful sight. Every time Rika struck her throat, tiny drops of red blood splattered to the boring white world around her. It was like a dance. A dedication dance by the final head of the Faraday family. The demon's last dance of dedication to Oyashiro-sama. Upon seeing that literally blood-curdling dance, I let out a fierce roar. I had no reason to do so. I was howling like an animal. We were like animals trying to kill each other, both getting covered in blood. And inevitably, as one convulsed in a pool of that blood, the other threw back its head and howled. Thank you, game, for a lack of a CG. Yes, thank you. Also, I'm willing to bet the anime does not give you the benefit of just a black screen. My body shivered with the joy I felt inside of me. This was death, the most final of judgments, and it was right before me. The demons howled, screamed, and roared. The roars faded, and my voice started to change from the voice of a demon back to that of a human. As a demon, I roared, but as a human, I sneered. Rika was covered in blood from her neck down. Her blood was pouring out, making a little noise. Rika was still staring into my eyes. I stared back at her. I wasn't sure they were still eyes, though. They were no longer human eyes, but the eyes of the dead. Rika. No, Rika's corpse vomited blood from her mouth and nose and smiled. Then she dropped the knife. She stuck her hands out and turned her palms upward. Her wiggling fingers reminded me of an insect's legs. Those fingers reached for her own throat. I'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen anybody do this before. Because Rika was scratching her own throat. She was ripping her own throat apart. How is she still alive? Maybe that wasn't a good description. She was trying to rip out the inside of her throat through the opening she'd made with the knife. Her fingers found the biggest tear. Rika smiled. At least that's what I would have called it if she were alive. She ripped open the tear in one tug. Well, that was exceptionally disturbing. Upon hearing my scream, Rika died and fell on her face into the pool of blood. That was it. She didn't get up again to show me her throat. I stepped back from Rita Faraday's body and bumped into the wall in the hallway. Ah! I roared again in admiration of the ritual dance of dedication of the head of the Faraday family. Why? Why? Yes, why is she doing that? Is there something in the drugs? No, that doesn't make sense. Joy ran through my body and the blood rushed through my veins. Congratulations, you made a 10-year-old girl stab herself and tear her throat apart with a kitchen knife. You should be so proud. I then realized I'd disposed of the heads of the three families, the core of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Everything was finally exposed. The curse of Oyashiro-sama and its masterminds were all exposed. No, they weren't! You're just insane! I disposed of the leaders of the three families, who all killed Satoshi-kun. The head of the Sonozaki family died of a heart attack. She was at the bottom of the well, along with a wheelchair. I apprehended the head of the Kimiyoshi family. He'd continue to tiptoe until he died. The head of the Faraday family died in a way that was perfect for the final head of the three families of Onikafuchi. Yeah, but except they died in probably the reverse order of brutality. Your grandma deserved the most violent death out of all of them, and she got the easiest one. Rika didn't do anything wrong, and you gave her far and away the most brutal death. Although I guess... I was going to say Rika did that to herself, but that still might have been preferable to what Shion would have done in the torture room. It's also probably preferable than getting your insides ripped out one at a time. I did it. I accomplished my mission. I defeated all the masterminds who killed Satoshi-kun with the curse. Everyone! Satoshi-kun, you were powerless. You didn't have the means to fight back. Those evil people simply sneered while they let you die, after making you as a member of the cursed Hosho family. I will never, ever forgive them! They believed you deserved to die because you were one of the Hoshos. As long as it was done by the curse of Oyashiro-sama, they didn't care how you were killed. I will never forgive those people for creating this world. What could I have done to save you, Satoshi-kun? I couldn't save you. Shion Sonozaki couldn't do anything else at the time. If I was Mion, not Shion. If I was Mion that day, I could have saved you. Mion could have saved you. That's right. I remember now. Shion! She said she wanted to eat red snapper sashimi that day. I was supposed to eat that. But Shion pouted and cried. That was why I let her switch, just for that night. I did it to make her happy like a big sister would. Shion was never treated well, so I felt bad. That was it. I was being a good sister. That was it. When morning came, the world had been turned upside down, and it had remained so until today. We weren't twins anymore. The one with the demon was Mion, and the one without the demon was Shion. What was that supposed to mean? Wait, Mom, listen! I'm Mion, not her! You can tell us apart, right, Mom? Look, can't you tell I'm Mion? Come on, everyone, tell I'm Mion! I'm Mion! Don't call me Shion! I'm Mion. I am!
その時、私ははっきり悟ったよ。
Most sane 4chan user.
あんたは知っていたんだ。あの夜、親類たちが集まって何をするのか、ただの宴会じゃないって知っていたんだ。知らない、本当に知らなかったの。はあ？なわけないでしょ。あんた、あの日だけ嫌にしつこく絡んできたじゃない。タイの刺身なんて食べたことない、食べてみたい、いつもミオンばかりずるい、私にもって。普段ならおとなしく納得するくせに、あの日だけ必要に。知らないの、本当に知らなかったの。あんな恐ろしいことになるなんて思ってたら絶対に言わなかった。はっ、どうだか。あんたはいつも妬んでたじゃない。ミオンばかりいい目にあってずるいって。だから私が気を利かせてたまに入れ替わってあげてたんじゃない。あんたはそれに満足していなかった。より一層妬んでいったんだ。そしてあの夜の意味を自分だけ知り、私から奪ったんだ。ミオンを奪ったんだ。ミオンを返せ。私がミオンなんだ。私が園崎ミオン。お前はシオンなんだよ、シオン。ミオンを語るな、偽物が。
I kicked the bars of the cell repeatedly while I roared. Compared to my roar, the metallic noise of the bars sounded like the cry of a little puppy. I had been convinced by something so stupid. The tattoo of the demon was just a way of telling us apart. Even without that tattoo, I am Mion. That's right, I am Mion Sonozaki. I gathered my hair and put it in a ponytail with the yellow band that Mion used all the time. Since I didn't feel my hair on my neck, I felt like I could think more clearly now. Two Mions looked at each other through the iron bars. According to our sibling rules, that was never to happen. Yes, there was only one Mion and one Shion. There could never be two of either at the same time.
髪をほどけしよん。ミオンは私だ。ミオンはここにいる。お前がミオンじゃない。だから語るな、二度と私を語るな。聞いているのか、シオン。
This does explain the name switch, and I hate it.
聞こえているのか。聞こえているなら返事をしろ。私に返事を届かせろ、シオン。
I took myself back on this day. Shion admitted that she was Shion.
ミオンであることがこんなにも素晴らしいなんて。
Guys, don't tell Shion that the narrator still calls her Shion.
すごいよ。体全体が言うことを聞く。頭の回転が優れた気がする。そうだよ。ミオンは万能なんだ。
This is not going to end well for you, Shion, because now that you've done the name change, everyone's going to think you were the one responsible for this all.
みそかすのシオンとは違う。落ちこぼれのくせに下手なミオンのふりなんかしやがって。それが私にとってどれだけむずがゆかったことか。わかるでしょ、あんたになら。シオン。はい。おね。
Shion called me sis. And so I was Mion! Ah! The demon who had been asleep deep inside of me was finally allowed to wake up. Yeah! It hadn't done anything until now, you witch with a capital B. The demon roared and my whole body shivered to express its joy.
シオン、あんたには罪がある。あんたは今までミオンだった。園崎家の鬼を継ぐミオンという強い立場がありながら、サトシ君を救わなかった、救おうとしなかった。
Yeah, this is very discordant music, but it fits the situation well.
サトシ君を救うための100億の瞬間があったはずなのに、
I don't think she did.
見殺しにすることを選んだんだ。
What am I saying? You can't reason with Shion. She's like a redditor.
私は許さない。お前を許さない。お前が私だったらサトシ君を救えていたのに。お前が私を奪いサトシ君を殺したことを私は絶対に許さない。
Shion was shaking on the other side of the bars.
私はお前を殺すだろう。絶対に殺す。サトシ君の無念に見合う殺し方をしてやる。
$10 says Shion has reptile eyes.
お前を一番残酷に殺す方法が何なのか今日から毎日考えて過ごしてやる。シオンは私がそれを思いつくまでのわずかな日々をいつ殺されるのかどう殺されるのかに怯えながら過ごすがいい。簡単には殺さない。むごたらしく殺す。殺した後はサトシ君と同じ井戸に放り投げてやる。
See, even if she thinks that someone deserves death, she could give them a painless death, but she is actively choosing to torture them and make them suffer. Once you start torturing people before killing them, there's no justification for it. Zero. You are the bad guy.
そしてサトシ君にあの世で謝ってこい。それが私を語り続けてきたことへの報いだ。報いお前の罪。
You know what, Shion? I think you need a little bit of introspection to realize you're even worse than the people that you hated.